So the Cavs acquired a package of assets in their Kyrie Irving trade to the Celtics, including the Nets' first-round pick next season. But how long will Cleveland hold on to that pick? Cleveland.com reporting that the Cavs have taken numerous calls about that pick that could be in the top 5 of next year's draft. Stephen A., would it be smart for Cleveland to trade that pick?
All depends on what they can get for it. Obviously, Kevin Love is somebody that is going to be marketable. That contract that we initially thought was exorbitant, you can now make a legitimate argument that he's underpaid. He's a walking double-double. He's got a tremendous perimeter shot. He can spread the floor. He's talented, and you've got a lot of people that look at him as the third option in Cleveland and says, you know what, he could be the second option somewhere else. And so you're talking about potentially packaging him with that pick. If you can get an Anthony Davis from New Orleans, you do it in a heartbeat. You need somebody big time in order to sit there and relinquish that pick along with a Kevin Love, because it has to be the kind of player. It's not going to be LeBron no matter who it is, but it has to be the kind of player you can build around to some degree in the event that LeBron leaves you, or good enough where LeBron sits there and says, I'm in a good position right here with this guy to move forward by staying in Cleveland. It has to be a deal of that magnitude. I don't know if Love and the pick even gets you that, to be quite honest with you, because it depends on that along with whoever you get wanting to leave the destination that they're at and applying pressure to the organization to let them go. So it's a lot of tentacles to this issue. We don't know what's going to happen, but the real answer to that question is it all depends on what you can get. If you can package that pick along with somebody like a Kevin Love in order to get a quality dude, then you do it. If you can't, you stand pat.
Remember Sanford and Son, what Red Fox used to tell his son?
Fred
You
Sanford.
big dummy.
That's right.
Dan Gilbert, you big dummy. You see what happens now? You are in a world of, this franchise is, think about what's going to happen right now. In the history of Cleveland, tell me in the NBA a major, max player contract worthy player who said, you know what, I want to stay right here. Listen, I got nothing against Cleveland. I love the fact that there's a sports renaissance there right now. The Cleveland Browns fans in particular are, you could argue, are the best fans in all of sports, right? They organically had this grassroots campaign to get a franchise back called the Cleveland Browns. Hats off to them, the dog pound, all that stuff. But, it's not L.A. The Pacific Ocean's not there. It's not 300 days of sunshine a year, right? It's not a major metropolitan center to the extent that New York City is or Chicago or a place like that. It just is what it is. And in the history of that franchise, I can't think of one max contract player who could get the money elsewhere, who said, no, I'm going to stay here. So what that means, the reason they seem relevant now, Dan Gilbert, has nothing to do with you. It's 100% because and only because LeBron James happened to be born in Akron and was drafted #1 by the Cleveland Cavs and then came back, right, and brought you to 3 finals. That's it. Once LeBron goes, even if let's say you could get Anthony Davis for that #1 pick and Kevin Love, which would be a heist, right? You think Anthony Davis is going to stay in Cleveland? Why? Because he's eligible for a supermax?
Well, that's
he can go anywhere he wants?
That's not what it is, though. What it is that whoever you acquire, you're making sure that they're not approaching the last year of their contract.
Understand. So you got him for 2 years.
Right.
But you ain't had, Anthony Davis will not play out his career in Cleveland. Ain't going to happen.
But the part that I think you're missing in all of that is that, let's say, for example, you were able to pull off what you just described as a heist, and you're able to move Kevin Love along with the pick to get Anthony Davis. Even if Anthony Davis wants to leave in a couple of years, he's a better tradable asset than what you're giving up.
Of course. By the way, eye to eye.
That's how they look at it.
Everyone's going to tell you the same thing.
That's how they look at it.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Kids, everyone will tell you the same thing. If you can get Anthony Davis for Kevin Love and a pick that may be the first pick, maybe the 5th pick, in a draft that likely won't have anyone nearly as good as Anthony Davis, you would do that all day, and then you could maybe flip him into. But what I'm telling Dan Gilbert now is because you've alienated LeBron James, this is your lot in life for the rest of the time you own the franchise. It's all about getting something that you can flip into something else and flip into something else because no one's ever going to want to stay there.
Let's touch on a bigger subject, and I'm being serious here. I get where you're coming from, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. But let's go a little bit deeper with this. if you really want to hold Dan Gilbert accountable for something as it pertains to alienating LeBron James, we're going back to the letter in 2010 when he thought LeBron had left for good. It was inexcusable for him to write that letter, very childish and belligerent. As far as I'm concerned, he should never be totally forgiven for that, which some of LeBron James' people will never forgive him for. But LeBron James, being the businessman that he is, can do business with the man. Since LeBron has been back, we have to step back, in my opinion, and give Dan Gilbert credit in the interest of fairness to this man. The man has the highest payroll. He triggers the luxury tax. Everything that LeBron James has asked for, this man has given him since he's returned. Everything I'm telling you what I know.
I get you. Why is LeBron alienated?
So what I'm saying.
I'm asking that as a question.
I'm sorry.
Why? I hear what you're saying.
I'm asking you a question. What was your question?
Why does LeBron then? Why does he feel alienated by Gilbert to the extent that he wants to leave?
No. He's not thinking about leaving this time because he feels alienated. He's thinking about leaving because his business, LeBron James is all about the brand that is LeBron James. And so as a result, the business opportunities that present itself is something that, not just LA, but Silicon Valley and beyond. I mean, these guys ain't playing games. This is big time stuff. And LeBron James is the ultimate businessman as a sports icon right now.
If Gilbert gave him a piece of the team, you think he'd stay?
Well, question is, are you allowed to do it?
No, of course not. You got a back channel.
But then that involves incredible trust.
Yep.
It involves a better relationship. And I'm not talking. But I'm not talking about what has. All I'm saying to you is this: whatever you're pointing to, credit what Gilbert did when he left.
Okay, but Stephen
not
A,
over what has happened over the last 3 years.
My point is this.